Streets is Talkin Radio, you BZ!
DNAS in the building. We're live on All Day Play.fm. I want to welcome everybody to a brand new spanking edition of Streets is Talkin Radio. But enough about me. It's time to rock.
Man.
It's time to rock.
Man.
It's time to RAWK. Hello, Monty Draper, DJ Flow. Let's talk about rock. What is rock? Who are y'all? I mean, everybody should know who y'all are, but who are y'all? How did y'all come together and put together this project?
They getting familiar, man. I'm Monty Draper.
I got a cold. This is DJ Flow.
Yeah, rock is really just us trying to keep alive, the raw elements of hip hop. It's born out of oppression, and the more things seem to change. With the city of Oakland changing, Richmond's changing, the city has been gone. We want to hold on to those raw elements, but the dope thing about hip hop as a genre, it's taken over as the new rock and roll. The rappers are the new rock stars, But and with that, and being so mainstream and it leading culture, we have to hold on to the raw elements that made it. And so there you have rock. That's us.
So the Bay Area, we known to go stupid, dumb, get hyphy, all these different things. What has been your influence, musically? Because just conversing with you and hearing your music, I haven't heard just one sound. I don't hear just one thing. I hear, people like, oh, he's a poet. They say, oh, he's a bagpiper. But it's like, there's so much more. So like, who are your influences and how would you describe your sound?
Wouldn't you? I mean, I feel like that's what the Bay is, though. We're a little bit of everything. Pot. We're a melting pot, and you listen to that early short stuff, and it's fun.
We just know FCC.
Yeah. You listen to that early short shit, and it's a ton of funk on there.
Yeah.
So when you think about the Bay, at least when I think about the Bay, it's funk inspired. Yeah. Think about Sly Stone. You think about, what I'm saying? Like that's what those are my influences, at least, and a lot of that early Rap A Lot record shit. It's funk based.
Hey,
like them like this. It's nothing but gospel and funk, and that's what speaks to me the most. Flo, I don't know about you. That's for me though.
I mean, in terms of the sound, just being from the Bay Area and being a Filipino American, coming from the Filipino culture, DJing was like huge. B-boying was huge as a part of that. And so, obviously we look up to cats like Qbert and them. Mm-hmm. And so in terms of the traditional kind of DJ turntablist elements, that definitely bleeds into kind of how I make music,
yes,
and having records be a big part of that. And so, for this project specifically, I kind of, it's all sample based, but it's definitely trying to take what I kind of learned from the culture and how I grew up here in the Bay Area as a DJ turntablist, and kind of flip that into, because now it's like there's not necessarily a regional sound anymore. Actually in the Bay, Bay has an identified kind of sound, but in terms of taking influence from everywhere, like there's a lot of like blending going on, and so I try to take what I can from the new Bay sound, from the old Bay sound, sampling kind of OG funk, 80s records, just whatever it may be, just kind of pulling all of that and just trying to make something kind of new. And
absolutely. Let's focus on the word you just said though. A turntablist.
Yeah.
In the ever growing age of technology, I know we have folks that have like the controllers and things of that nature, but we still on them vinyls, baby.
Yeah.
So explain what you would just, I know there's not necessarily a difference per se as far as a DJ, but like, why do you say turntablist?
Turntablism is I feel like that's kind of a term of a specifically a hip hop DJ term, where it's using the turntable as an instrument. Mm-hmm. And so if you think back to the origins of kind of the culture, that's what it is. It's the DJ manipulating the records, having two copies, looping them up, and that's kind of where the music derived from, really. What I'm saying?
And so breaks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And so that's definitely a huge part of this rock album. Is a majority of it was made from the records that I pulled while we were on tour together. And so we were out in the Midwest as our first leg, and then later we went out to Europe for a couple weeks.
Let's talk about it. Like, what? Because I know you were digging with him.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying, hitting them crates. Like, what? Yeah. Talk about like what did y'all see? Y'all were like, you know what? We gotta get this album.
Not really. It was just for both of us. Actually, we didn't talk about it until later. We were trying.
You know what I'm saying? Like when you guys were pulling out, you know what I'm saying, vinyls across the country. Like, what are some things y'all saw? Like, we gotta grab this.
Everything, man, is direct from the cover. I know I think we pull differently. For me, the album cover, like immediately you go, oh damn, I need to hear this, or it'll be something familiar that I remember that my grandfather had, or that my older brother would have, and it's like, oh, I need to hear this, and you go, damn, no one's flipped this yet. And he was the same way, but he's way more obscure. Like, he knows way more.
I'm looking for the weird shit that hasn't been touched. You know, when
no
we
one's
was
even
in
thought
Europe,
about flipping.
When we were in Europe, I was coming across things I've never seen in my life.
Yeah.
And you know, there's a language barrier too. You don't even know what the hell is like. You know what I mean? But you kind of just go off of that instinct. You know, you got that that spidey sense on records, and just knowing that, hey, this dude looks funky right here. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so that's kind of
all you need is half a bar too. If you have a bar, you could turn that into a whole song.
It's loops, chops. You know what I'm saying? That's all you need. So
that's it.
I've always enjoyed the artistry and the mastery that MCs and producers have. Mm-hmm. And the reason I'm on this side is because I do not have those skills. I make my soundtrack with these joints, you know, asking these questions. No, but I'm looking and I'm seeing, like, you know what I'm saying, going to Europe, you know what I'm saying, the Midwest, but Europe, like going overseas.
Man,
not only do we not realize here in America, I think we take this hip hop shit for granted.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Definitely,
and it's really brought to the truth into the forefront and in your face when you go overseas and you see folks b-boying still.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I used to do security back in the day, 2232 MLK, we used to do all these b-boy shows.
Oh, yeah.
And it, you know, to see the folks that came out, you know what I mean? We always joked around, like I grew up, my parents used to always tell me Filipinos are just black Asians. Yeah. We all the same folks. We share, especially with this music, as it comes from oppression.
Yeah.
A lot of folks, you hear, you know, in a lot of cultures, a lot darker skinned Filipinos will look down upon. You know what I'm saying? It's like a lot of, you know, connections as far as like, yo, we're growing up in these barrios, in these ghettos, in these neighborhoods together. Bro, we rocking.
Yeah.
We rocking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm hearing the turntables. I'm like, man, I can't wait. You know what I'm saying? Just hear these scratches and
man, it's beautiful. It's beautiful, man. That's what it is. That's exactly what it is. That's what we bonded over. When I was a kid, B-boy was dying, and the only way I could really be around some traditional B-boy stuff was to be with my Filipino homies.
Right,
you know, shout out to Pilo and Kuya. Like they like the first people that played me little brother was Kuya. You know, so it's like that's exactly what it is. There's a correlation right there. Something that we can bond over, and being sort of ostracized and pushed out, and building this thing. And that's what it is. That's what RAWK is sort of built off of for me.
And you know, so to let the cat out the bag for people that don't know, you know that this Tuesday is going down. Next Tuesday, I should say. Next Tuesday is going down November 21st in the city of Oakland, California.
Yes.
1928 Telegraph Avenue, the Uptown nightclub. It is the release, celebrating the release of RAWK, DJ Flow, Monty Draper, and some really dope special guests.
Streets is talking radio, you BZ.